What's going on? What's going on, everybody? This is another episode, number 17, Chocolate Gumbo, y'all. What's go?
Rise,
Hey,
shine, and
y'all.
elevate. Rise, shine, and elevate, everybody.
Hey.
Episode 17.
It's another week, y'all. You know how we do it, man. Each and every week, we bring y'all new heat, and we drop it every Sunday. So tell a friend, bring a friend. Tell them to subscribe, like, comment, and follow us, man. IG, Facebook, it doesn't matter. YouTube, especially. Follow us on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Anchor, some of everything, man. But
Any
if-
streaming platform, we there. Okay.
anyone. And you know how we kick off each and every episode, man. We got to ask y'all, how was your weekend? How was your weekend?
My weekend was great. Thank God. All-Star Fry Hard Friday was a total success. 2 sold-out shows, Tavern on LaGrange, Mojo Brooks, Corey Bell, hosted by the one and only Big Keith. Saturday, Tavern on LaGrange, Beach Basin Brunch. Did 2 shows without my brother here because he was out the country probably, and shows was off the chain. Then I drove to Decatur, Illinois. Shout out Decatur, Illinois. Shout out my boy Kendrick and his boy Dre. They throwed a great comedy show in an old grocery store that they turned into a club that was really nice and classy, and made it home Sunday. I got some rest, and we back, baby.
All right.
What's up, Kendra?
So yeah, my weekend was still again pretty settled, but I did attend a friend's wedding on Friday. It was pretty dope. You know, congratulations to her and her other person that she married. But you know, I saw something a little different at this wedding. I haven't been to a wedding where they gave a whole sermon. Like they literally had chairs for them to sit in. I'm like, why they not standing up? But you know, they gave a sermon and the word that was given was great for people who were getting married. So that wedding was dope. Right after that wedding, I did go over to Tavern on LaGrange to the second show, the comedy show, to support my guy over here. You know, I'm always supporting my friends, you know, his shows, whatever. Like I'm gonna be there to support if I'm free. So I did make the second show. It was dope as hell. Make sure y'all come out and check one of them comedy shows on them first Fridays. And then any day on weekend on Saturday, they there. So yeah, and after that, you know, my other weekend was just chilled after work. And you know, that's all I did. What about you?
You know what? This weekend was a little crazy. It was a little crazy. I started off, I had to go downtown, so I played at the place called The Basement downtown.
I like that
I
place.
actually used to do that place for years. I did it for like 6 years straight every Friday.
Okay.
So it was one of the places, like a live music party atmosphere place downtown. So if you're in the downtown area, check out The Basement, downtown Chicago. It's real fun, live music. I did that Friday. Saturday, I had to get up. I had to make some runs because I had to get prepared to go out of town Saturday, so I couldn't make it to brunch. I had my boy Tim come and hold it down. My brother Swift was the feature, hold it down. They did a great job from what all the reviews I got, and they held it down for me. But I had to stop by my niece's baby shower. So my niece is having another child. So I have a
Shout out to
great
Niecy.
nephew coming.
Lord.
A great
Okay.
nephew. Yeah. So
A great nephew.
I already
You
got
ain't
a great
even,
niece,
you ain't
but
even
a
a
great-
granddad. Yeah, you got a great.
That's crazy, ain't
Lord
it? Right.
Jesus.
my sister's the grandma, so that's her thing. But I got a great niece coming, so I had to stop by there, and then I had a wedding to do downtown Chicago at this place called the Dulcie or something like that.
Okay.
Downtown, I think it's Dulcie. Anyway, we did a wedding there, and then I got home by 11 o'clock, finished packing.
Okay.
Me and the wife, we had a shout out to Dallas, and we see my brother and stuff like that. I had to do a private gig.
Private
I
gig for
could
who?
not talk again.
Private gig for who?
I can't tell. I had to sign a
You had to sign a non-disclosure.
Yeah, I had to
it was
sign a
that
non-disclosure.
Because you can't talk about it after the fact.
I don't know. I just don't want. We got future stuff going on with them.
Damn,
So
RJ
yeah, I
out there
want to keep that
performing.
relationship. But we did somebody's like
Meghan Markle's probably Meghan Markle
It
or
was a former
Hulk
athlete.
Hogan or
it was a former athlete's birthday party that we
Emmett
did.
Smith or
So I
somebody.
can't say who it was.
Damn, baby,
but it was
shout out
crazy.
RJ, man. Shout out RJ,
Shouts
man.
out to you.
But
Yes,
it's so
making
big
a
you can't even
move.
tell nobody
I
about it.
can't
Come on,
tell
man.
it because they got some future stuff they want us to do some more
That's
stuff.
what's up.
So I want to keep that relationship good. But it was so fun, man. Even my wife, she came down there, she couldn't even go.
Oh wow.
So she hung out with my brother
What?
John and sister Tanisha. John and Tanisha Sanders down there in Texas. She hung out with them, and then we hung out. We see my brother said down there as well. So it was pretty cool, pretty quick trip. She got a little sunshine. We both got a little sunshine, and then we came on back. But you know what? We got to get into this now. We got to get into these current topics, man. We definitely got to do that. Now, as we know, this is National Women's Month.
Yes, sir. Can I get some claps?
That
We
it
gotta get
is.
some claps for all the women.
Shout out
our
all the
month,
women, man.
ladies.
Y'all go through that. Y'all go through a lot being a woman. Shout it out.
Yes, we do.
Yes, but today, Kendra, is what?
It's actually National Women's Day,
Oh,
March
snap.
8th. It's
So-
our day.
It's the day. So when you see this episode on, it will be the 12th. When you see the episode, we record during the week and then we release everything on Sunday. So that's how you know.
Yes.
So we just gonna keep it real and let you know what certain stuff it might be a certain day, but we let you know that that's what's going on. So you're not seeing it directly live, but this is National Women's Day
Shout
today.
out, shout
So
out,
shout out to all the beautiful women.
Yes,
If
shouts
it wasn't
out
for
to
you
us.
guys, it wouldn't be no us. You keep the population going. You're beautiful, you're strong, and you are truly appreciated.
Yes.
Now we got to get into some things, man.
We got to shout out the women, man. We got to
Oh, yeah,
shout out our
you know
women,
what?
bro.
You're right, Keith.
You know
You're right.
what?
I'm sorry. I'm
All
sorry.
right.
You want to go first? Yeah, let me.
Ladies first.
It's
Ladies first on Ladies'
Day. So I found out today that we actually have a color, purple. That they
Royalty.
resonate with. Yes, that's royalty. With us women, and I just decided to put on a little purple lipstick. I don't know, it might look pink on the camera, but it's purple. I think that's all I can just grab real quick to recognize us. But yeah, so the person that I thought about today that I wanted to give shots out or give you a little history fact on is Maya Angelou.
Oh, okay. Come on.
So Maya Angelou, she was born on April 4th,
Mhm.
1928. She is a poet, a dancer, a singer, an activist, and also a scholar. Maya was the world famous author who was also known for her autobiographies talking about her life.
Mhm.
And one, actually, it was one book that she wrote that was well known.
Mhm.
From I think she spoke about her life up to the age of 17, and it was called Cageburg Sings.
Okay.
So if you guys haven't read that book, read it. Maya Angelou, she's a great poet. She always have these sayings that's inspiring us.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to give her recognition on today.
Live and wonderful.
Yes.
Every morning when you rise, the space continuum floats through time until the present, and then I got off him with my Angelou bag for a second.
Yes,
My bad.
we
I was
love
feeling
you, Maya.
flowers in the springtime as the breeze flows
Oh,
across
Lord.
the modern flow
Here we go.
of love and life.
You trying to become a poet today?
He sound like
a love poet.
He sound like
something
Maya
that
Kid,
little-
Eartha Kitt, and Maya.
Right, like,
Monica's.
what you trying to do over here?
Monica's, darling. You don't have to blow your own horn. Sounding ass.
Lord help
Shout out to
y'all, help
Maya.
'em.
Maya
Anybody
Angelou.
else shouting out? That was a person for today.
That was my person for
Okay.
today. Yep.
No
I
problem.
just,
Keith, you got any women you want to shout
I
out?
got two women I want to shout out,
Come
and they
on,
both
no.
have the same name for different reasons. I want to shout them out. First person I want to shout out, Harriet Tubman.
Okay.
Come
When you
on.
talk about a woman that went through it all to liberate and bring through people, like I told you, I drove to Decatur this weekend, right? Every time I take a road trip and I'm driving for hours and hours and hours through Mississippi, through Alabama, through Memphis, through Kentucky, through the mountains and all of that, I think about how much these people had to want to be free. How bad did they want to be free, bro? To run for days and days and days, not knowing what's coming up, what's behind you. You got 11 people and y'all running in a pack all night, hiding in the daytime, running at night. You got a kid, a grandmama, an uncle, a nigga with a peg foot. You got so much extra shit going on to really want to be not a slave anymore. And you got this crazy, not crazy, but you got this lady who is so much of a zealot to be like, look, I know where to go, I know what to do, and I know what to do. I know the routes, I know where it's safe to go, I know where it's not safe to go. And this lady, shout out Harriet Tubman, this lady not only freed slaves, she would shoot people if they came on a trip and didn't want to go back because they're gonna get them caught and they're gonna put you onto the route. She would knock the shit out of babies with the butt of the pistol if they was crying and it was time to be quiet.
Is this real?
This is documented, bro. She would motherfucking.
You're teaching me something today.
Wow. Okay, Harriet, tell me, you brought something new to the table.
Well, can I ask you a question though? You started off by saying that your road trips remind you of
Because the road trip.
it?
Have you ever taken a road trip and you driving and all you don't see no downtown. Most of America is rural, forest.
Land, yeah.
Yes, it's trees
Okay, I
and
got
trees and that hours and hours of driving. And all those trees and all this wide open space to be running for days, and all y'all got is some bread and drinking out of a pond.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all had to really want to be free, and people ran from Mississippi all the way to fucking Wisconsin, Iowa, Indiana. Like, you know how bad they had to really want to be free to be on foot for 3, 4, 5, 9 days. Shout out to Harriet Tubman, man. Shout out to Harriet
Shout
Tubman.
out to Harriet.
Out to you.
Now, who's the second person, Keith?
Well, I said this got similar names, right?
Yeah.
I need to shout out first. I want to shout out all the people who didn't grow up with a real family. And this lady right here was a mother to all of us. Shout out to Harriet Winslow off of Family Matters. Harriet, let me tell you
Harriet.
something. Let me tell you something. You ain't never been cute, but you was
thanks.
always beautiful. Do you understand me? Harriet Winslow, you was married to the nigga that looked like me with no hair. Like, come on now. Carl Winslow, Harriet, you was really in love with a big dude. And you had my high school crush, Laura Winslow. That was my high school crush. I still want Laura Winslow to this day. And and all the people who didn't have like a big family, and because the black family isn't really shown anymore on TV. They don't really illustrate a happy black family. So shout out to Harriet Winslow. Shout out to Harriet Tubman. Y'all both freed minds and free people. And thank you so much. Happy Women's Month.
Happy Women's Month.
Happy Women's Month. I'm gonna shout out a person. I'm gonna reach in the bag for this one.
Okay.
I want to shout out Mary McLeod Bethune.
Ooh.
Yes. So that's a woman. She built a school in those times as a black woman. First of all, doing a school
when they
being
didn't
black.
When they didn't
period.
want us to read.
Right. When they didn't want us to read, she did that. Build a one-room school. She did that in a time like that was impossible. You know what I'm saying? So many people that was probably uneducated couldn't read at the time, and she wanted to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
So we like to shout out to Mary McLeod Bethune, some innovators, people that was forward thinkers back then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, major shout out to that. And I want to shout out another one too, Keith. Since we doing a double shout out.
Okay.
Y'all trying to show me up on Women's Month. Okay.
Nah, I want to shout out. You know what? We want to shout out. Of course, we can. Women's Month. I'm gonna shout out my wife every episode. So shout out my wife. I love you, baby. Shout out my mama. Rest in peace.
We love you. We love you. We love you,
you,
mom. We love you, wife.
But I feel it's appropriate for the show to shout out Miss Kendra.
Hey,
for the show.
I was just about to say, you ain't got to shout out to people. You are a walking, breathing, living shout out to women all across this world. You are a beautiful example. We ain't got no flowers or nothing, but what we're saying is,
we appreciate her, man. She does a lot of things behind the scene. She works out, man. She tells everybody that she knows about the Chocolate Gumbo movement, man. So we appreciate all the subscribers, everybody that tuned in, a lot of her cousins and friends and stuff. We truly appreciate y'all. We get the message. We truly appreciate the support, and we like to shout out Kendra, man, for her hard work on Women's Month.
I feel so loved.
We all bring talent and abilities, but not only do she bring talent, she brings beauty and a little bit and not only beauty, but she's the most business oriented person that I know, far as when it comes to having an idea, making it official, moving forward on it. That's all I know this woman to do. So God bless you, Kendra.
Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you guys so much. Don't make me cry.
Oh, geez. We got to change stuff. She's about to start crying and stuff. Anyway, we got to get this thing going now. Now, we got to get up in these current topics.
RJ, what you putting in your mouth?
Sir, we're not gonna do that tonight.
Okay, we on camera.
We're not gonna do that.
Going to the world.
You're not gonna do me like that.
Yeah. What is you eat?
Listen. Anyway, we're gonna get the current topics.
Right. Okay.
I'll believe you alone, kid, because he got me on there. I'm gonna leave him alone. I'm not messing with him no more because he about to get me back.
Yeah. All you have to do is answer the question.
No, I'm not answering. Anyway, we had current events, y'all. So we got to talk about the first one. Since we're from Chicago, we got to talk about
ladies. And we talking about ladies.
We talking about ladies.
This Women's Month.
Women's Month.
This lady made history.
Yes. Who we talking about?
Lori Lightfoot.
Lori, like Auntie
Lightfoot.
The first black woman to be mayor in Chicago history.
Yeah.
Yes, shout out. Let's do this. Let's shout her out for that.
She made history.
She
She's
definitely made history.
openly gay,
Lord.
black woman. She's not a supermodel. She doesn't have long flowing hair. She doesn't wear wigs and weaves. She is a woman's woman. Like she is a woman. Like she's totally a woman. So shout out Lori Lightfoot.
Shout out. Shout out.
Shouts out to you.
I
Now,
mean, people
this-
said, what you say?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was just gonna let
People were saying that she only got hired because she was a woman and she was gay and all the different factors.
Well,
But now she didn't win her. She lost her re-election bid though. So
But that's the same reason why she says.
that's why. See, you took
is
in the
it-
words.
Go ahead. Talk to
The
me.
same reason why you just said she won is the same reason why she's claiming she lost. That's weird, right?
that's crazy.
I was like, wait, huh? Then you say that's why you won, or is that the reason why you won? But that's the reason why you lost too now. It's just the crimes. The crimes in Chicago are so bad she couldn't handle it. y'all.
I'm so pro. I love women. I love the women. I love especially our black women. You know, I definitely love them. But what's wrong is wrong, what's right is right. Lori, no, she didn't do a best job. I mean, she tried it. She went through a difficult season, especially with COVID. And a lot of people was at home doing nothing
And didn't like how Governor
didn't like
Pritzker
how-
and how she
moved. So
Yeah.
this is the time that you need to be on your P's and Q's. So everybody wasn't working. Everybody's sitting around. You had the well-being of us in your hands, and people didn't like how she handled that. And I think that's really why she lost the re-election. You know, not because she's a woman, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Because I just see Chicago really move forward. That was because she wouldn't have got elected the first time.
Chicago has
Right.
gotten more synonymous for gun violence.
Mm.
It's got more synonymous for downtown foolery. A bunch of young people, black and Mexican predominantly, doing donuts in the Hellcats, blocking streets off and just doing donuts and having fun, kid shit. The George Floyd thing where people were looting and making property owners and store owners and people who lived in that area very afraid. There's been a couple high-profile murders. Carjacking is on the rise. So she was taking hits along the way and thought that every mayor of Chicago is going to take these hits. Like, it's no reason why she should get scrutinized for what every mayor is going to go through, because Chicago is a very volatile city. It's got a lot of good and a moderate amount of bad, and it's just shit going on. Ever since she started this job, it was shit going on. It was a sugar tax. Around that time she got hired, there was a big high-ass sugar tax because Chicago was just taxing everything, trying to get money, trying to get revenue, street cameras, her entourage, her and the former mayor's entourage flying through lights, accumulating all these camera tickets and not paying them. So it's a bunch of issues in the specifics of the government of Chicago, how it runs, the management of the city type of thing. And also she didn't make a lot of friends within party lines and across party lines. The alderman, and she would always be having difficult moments with different people at the city meeting, so it wasn't a lot of friendly blood for her as well. So I think that she would like to say that it was close enough to where those factors mattered, but ma'am, it wasn't close. It wasn't close. You came here from Ohio. You seemed to me entitled. Like you inherited one of the biggest problematic states in the world.
You said Ohio?
Yeah, she from Ohio, buddy. She not from.
She's
Chicago.
not
I
even
didn't even
from
know that.
Chicago, bro.
No, she from Ohio, G.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that does make me feel some kind of way. But yeah, you're right.
I don't think those factors had anything to do with it, but that's what she's saying, and that's okay. We respect it.
Speaking of gun violence, man,
Oh shit.
we gotta talk about your boy on the news. Not on the news, but on IG on social
everywhere. It's
media.
on the news. It's on
it's
CNN. It was on local. It was on every pretty piece of news medium because they want to make a big deal out of it. They try to make an example out of it.
Oh, my guy, man. I'm a big basketball fan, and it's a young man that I believe this just like the next Allen Iverson. So his name is Ja Morant.
Yes.
He plays for the Minnesota. No, not Minnesota. Memphis Grizzlies.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. He plays for the Memphis Grizzlies. A very great talent, bright young star. I compare him to Allen Iverson.
I did too. It's a fair comparison.
It's a very fair comparison. This is how great and promising this guy is.
His jumper is as consistent as it can be and as it is sometimes, but his slash ability, his crossover ability, his his agility, far as being in the air and to be able to contort his body because he got freaky long arms. You're right. That's a fair comparison. I just made that comparison not too long ago.
So it's right that we can say that this guy is one of the superstars.
Yeah,
of the
definitely,
league.
definitely,
superstar,
absolutely,
not just
absolutely,
a star,
absolutely.
a superstar of the league.
He could be potentially the face of the league, and I think this is why the teardown is going to be so much more significant because he had the potential to be the face of the league.
Well, to get in the story, the guy was on IG Live, and I guess he was at a strip club, in a strip club in Memphis. Whatever, hanging out. He pulled out. He had a little gun on him.
So Memphis, my friend.
Not in Memphis.
They were on the road.
They was on the road.
Colorado.
That's right. Colorado investigated.
Yes,
Thank you for the correction.
Yes.
So correction, guys. They was on the road. On the road. Which makes it that bill. So you're pretty much on company's time.
The only reason you're in Colorado is because of the National Basketball Association.
You're on company's time. So you got a pistol with you. You're flashing on IG, and it caused a lot of backlash. Then you have some people like, well, what's the big deal? You got some people that feel like it is a big deal. And I think we're going to go down and give our opinions about that. Which one? Who wants to start first?
I mean, for me, initially, I just felt like seeing him. Well, I didn't know he was on the road. Now, I'm getting a little bit more clarification, but I just didn't understand the repercussions of him not being able to play the next 2 games because he so-called flashed his gun. So in my mind, I'm thinking just initially hearing the story that, did he have a concealed carry? Was he in a situation where he had to flash the gun? And I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, what's the problem? Like the world we live in today, it causes us to have these weapons on us at all times. So I didn't see anything particularly wrong with it.
Right to bear arms.
Right to bear arms. So it's just like
you're a citizen, justified to have whatever weapon you want.
Right. So I'm like, is it because he's in the NBA, that he's having these repercussions? But now I see he was on company time. So, and he pulled that young man move. He's 23 years old. Y'all be trying to be too flashy out here at this young age. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to get a little bit more control about y'allself. Y'all be in y'all little fun moments thinking y'all can, and then that done got you in a little trouble.
You want me to go?
So, I mean,
are you sure you want me to
go?
I'm about to go in. So I can go in. I feel like you about to go in. So I can go before you because I feel like you about to go in too. So this is my thing. This is my thing about the whole situation, right? Yes, he's 23. He probably have a gun license. Colorado is an open carry state. We know all those things. But this thing I gotta say. I'm a black man. So I can speak, and I know we got listeners and subscribers that's all races, and I don't want to necessarily always make it about that. Right. But I'm talking in truth of our perspective and how things are. We don't have those opportunities like that, right? So it don't matter who it is. It would have been bad. If it was a white dude doing it, it would have been stupid and bad. You on IG, you showing off. If you got a gun, for my gun holders to conceal and carry, it's concealed and carry for a reason. It ain't everybody's business you got a gun. I know I got kids that carry guns all the time, and you won't know it. That's the whole point of that. It ain't for you to show off and let nobody know you got a gun. What's the point of that? I ain't letting you know I got a gun, because if I let you know that I got a gun, it ain't a good time. And it's bad for everybody. It's bad for me too. You know what I'm saying? So that's number one. Number two, you're a target. You got money. You got different endorsements. You got different things. People are targeting you. You can't do that kind of stuff and think you're going to jeopardize the money that you got coming in, the future you're building for your family, your kids, over some goofy stuff, trying to act tough. How are you tough and you're a millionaire? Even if you are tough, what's the point of that? People, when we in the hood, being tough is a survival tactic. We're trying to survive to get to where you at. You at the place that people are dying to get to.
RJ, just call him whack. Call him extra whack like you're supposed to.
It was that. He's not whack because he's 23, man. And I understand being goofy like that, because I was 23 and goofy too. That was a goofy move. He's not a goofy person. He's not a dumb dude. He took ownership for what he did. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure his family talked to him over about it. People was criticizing his father, like, oh, he too friendly. At the end of the day, yeah, he is friendly with his son, but I don't know what him and his father talked about. You never know if he checked them out. We don't know that. We assuming that. But it's hard. Even if your son, you tell me how your son would act if they had $200-something million.
A contract with $200 million written
Everybody's
in it,
son
and you haven't
acted
got
crazy.
all the money yet.
Yeah.
You still have to play
but
game
I'm saying,
for game.
When your son have to buy your house, it ain't the same dynamic. It ain't the same. Yeah, they're gonna respect you always as the parent, but it ain't the same dynamic. You can say, "Hey, man, I was stupid." Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, but they gonna do what they want to do. I did what I want to do, and I ain't had no damn money with my mama
Right.
and my dad. You know what I'm saying? So if I had 200 and something million, of course I'm gonna listen when they get on me. But it's like I'm still gonna make my own bonehead mistakes.
But
Yeah, the
when you
money ain't gonna
23,
be no influence. Period. Like you're gonna be who you are as a person.
But when you got money, it multiplies.
Who thinks like that though? I mean, you know what I'm saying? He probably just was like, whatever. Like
He's
ain't
just
nobody
hanging out, being stupid and young at 23.
That
I'm trying to
part.
show I'm a thug. I'm still down, even though I'm balling, even though I got this money, even though I'm John Morant. I don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying I'm still with
Right.
it. No.
And people watching you, man. You can't be having that type of influence on the other people that's in your age range or people that's a fan of yours. So
let me say
I
this
get
one
it.
thing. Comedians want to be DJs, DJs want to be comedians. Rappers want to be actors, actors want to be rappers. Thugs want to hoop, and hoopers want to be a thug.
Mm.
It's always the attraction to the opposite. You know what I mean? Like all educated dudes want to be tough, and all tough dudes should at least want to be educated. Like,
You think.
and the John Morant situation, it comes down to a whole bunch of unanswered questions.
Mm.
Colorado is an open carry state unless you're consuming alcohol. So they're gonna go and review all this footage from whatever club they was at, and if this man is drinking alcoholic beverages and brandishing a weapon, okay,
Why is that a stipulation?
that's
yeah,
their state law.
that's
That's
state
the
law.
state law that they agreed to have.
Just like you driving a car ain't illegal, but you can't drive it if you're drinking. You can drink, but you can't drive it. You can't do them both
okay,
together.
unanswered questions. There's also the question of whose gun was it? Was it his gun? And is he traveling with the gun with the team?
All flights.
So it's a bunch of unanswered questions that he's going to eventually have to answer. They started off with a 2-game suspension, then they started off with an indefinite suspension, and now he's going to be away from the team for a undisclosed amount of time to get his life decisions and get his life together and work on his issues.
Somebody threw up 52 games to me, and I didn't see anything that said that.
Okay, I think it's either the NBA or the Memphis Grizzly organization has a clause in it that says if you're traveling with weapons or something like that, if you get caught with a gun with the team, it's automatic 50 games.
Whoa. Yeah, they probably did a Gilbert Arenas rule, right?
Yeah, because somebody clearly did this stupid ass shit before.
Gilbert
And it was
Arenas.
almost a life and death situation because they was too scared to just be two big motherfuckers that were willing to fight it out and walk away. No, you want to come to the locker room with a gun and threaten somebody like you tough, Mr. Arenas, and you clearly ain't never been tough. So that is the other thing about it. And the John Morant situation is breaking down to the old school Second Amendment versus dumb decisions. It's not guns that kill people. It's stupid people that do dumb things with a gun that kill people. Right?
Right.
So this is where everybody's drawing the line. Shaq, the TNT crew and Steven Jackson and all the internet people is talking when it's just some people are trying to say it's a thug being a thug, and some people are trying to be and say, no, this is just a basketball player who made a mistake. And some people are saying he didn't make a mistake. He just did something very dumb. When Kyrie Irving posted a clip from a movie that got branded anti-Semitic, posted, deleted, right? But he lost sponsorship. He got in trouble. Nike is standing by John Morant and brandishing a weapon in this hip-hop culture.
Mm.
They're gonna allow him the time he needs to get himself together before we make it, and we're gonna stand by him while he gets the time he needs in counseling and all that, which is okay. Nike, I'm not condemning you, Nike, but what you did to Kyrie Irving over a movie that anybody can go see is not like it's taboo. It's not like Sisters Fucking Brothers or some shit. It was just a movie with views that got titled anti-Semitic, and they took his shoe away. They took all his little extra endorsements away over something that they deemed anti-Semitic because it got deemed anti-Semitic. But this is a real issue with the teens and the drill, hip-hop, murder, hip-hop era. Drugs and murder and money. That's all these dudes rap about now. Drugs, guns, murder, and they really don't rap about booties and chicks no more. It's guns, drugs, and murder. This is not hip hop. This is death hop. This is the quickest way to either go to jail, kill somebody for going to jail, or be dead because somebody killed you over being an op. Okay, so the gun culture, the magnifying, the glorification of the gun culture mixed with clout, mixed with, hi guys, look at me. I used to be scared of people who point on the internet where people, you see the internet when you'll see the gun and I'm like, damn, who is fucking doing that? These niggas crazy, until I realized you're pointing a gun at a phone. That is the lamest, wackest, dumbest, hoest, goofiest, most unimportant shit you could ever do for clout, is to point a gun at a phone to threaten somebody with it. So this is the era of generational curse that they're building, that we're going to have to break in order to have some piece of the innocent people getting killed over and over again. Like, I got to go to the funeral of the lady who got killed last week, got shot in the face, just getting out of her car, dropping her daughter off at work. That was the family of an ex. That this lady was a real sweet person. And the gun culture, just people out here shooting. John Morant got a gun, I'm gonna get a gun too. Like, so it's so many levels and layers to it that I think that now the NBA should take a stance on anti-gun culture. Why not, Ja? Why not you be you that almost threw your career away and go out here and save lives and
Turn
take
it around. Okay.
advocate to taking guns out of these people's hands and these rappers' mouths, to stop talking about guns so much and get back to MCing. Get back to being somebody that has an opinion, that delivers a message to a community where it can give value, instead of just taking more people out of common sense way. I'm sorry, my John Morant view is very different.
It's definitely crazy. And John, man, I hope you learned your lesson. I'm pretty sure you did. I'm pretty sure. And I really don't feel like it was any malice. Me looking at it, I don't think it was any malice. It's just me being a black man and knowing how I was at 23. Not saying that I was flashing the gun. I wasn't. But like you said, it's about the culture.
Just the culture.
And the culture now is different than the culture when I was 23. So I can't compare them.
No,
I can't. But our culture, you know what we was talking about? Everybody's trying to be a pimp. Everybody's trying to have all the girls and stuff. That's where I came up. That was the thing to do. We wasn't worried. We wasn't worried about that. We was trying to get money. We was talking about having all the girls and all of that. And you can say what you want to say about that as well. And one is not better than, well, one is slightly better. I'd rather you do that than be gun and shoot and all that. But that's another thing. With John Morant, I hope you learn your lesson, man. That's just our opinion about that. With another thing though that I really want to get into. Something dropped this weekend, Keith.
Oh shit!
You got to tell us what dropped this weekend, man. Well, or this past week, or
Comedy
whatever.
Legacy is continuing. Dave Chappelle was doing it. Deion Cole did it. Lil Rel did it. We're getting back into the big comedy specials. Chris Rock Netflix special was certified hilarious to me as a comedy student, performer, and fan. Never really been a Chris Rock fan, but I've always respected the level of jokes that he's done and the aspects that he's shown illustrated. This shit was brilliant. Every topic, every switch over, it was comedic gold. Period, point blank. He didn't pander at all. He made a few little slip of the lips, but he made up for it. And his topics was all hidden about how the culture of sex is so dramatic that people ain't holding hands, but they eat your ass, but you they ain't holding hands. How is eating ass more intimate than holding hands nowadays? So it's like so many things that he talked about, and you know he talked about your boy too.
Who's my boy?
Big Willie.
So he finally came out about the Will Smith situation, and watching that was crazy. I thought, like you said, Keith, just hearing your perspective on that, especially when it's comedy and especially just anything, because we all have our specialties, and I always want to pick our brains when it's something dealing with one of our specialties. So throwing that with Keith and just hearing your response to that, I thought it was genius. I like how he segued everything. I like how he kind of just threw the whole bit. He actually finally talked about the Will Smith slap incident.
Where it started, the origination from how
he got into it, but he kind of segued. It was like back and forth. Like it was like you know how people doing double dutch. He teased it. So the first few minutes, he'll bring it here, act like he coming around that corner, and then he'd be like,
because
"Yeah,"
he said
right
the
here,
last
though.
thing I need is another mad rapper.
And he did it a couple of times. That reminded me of stuff that Dave Chappelle do. You know, he kind of he'll say something lingering just to bait you a little bit and get back to what he's saying, but then bring it home at the end. It was just great. I thought it was great writing, great delivery.
It's the evolution of his life, man. He was talking about how his mother used to have to go to the veterinarian because they didn't let black people go to a white dentist.
Doctor, yeah.
And then he said his daughter is in culinary school in France, and his mother gets to fly on him to go to France to have dinner and lunch at a cafe with it. Come on, man. So that right there, if that ain't him showing that life and art and comedy and pain and past and present and future can all come full circle, I don't know what y'all talking about, man.
What's your thoughts on that, Kevin?
I mean, I think he did a great job the way he touched on everything. They trying to say that he's been infatuated with Jada Pickett.
Oh my God.
They like, yeah, did y'all notice that he actually filmed his show in her hometown of Baltimore? Did you know that she was from Baltimore?
Wow, that is crazy.
Okay,
They're saying that he has an infatuation with her.
I doubt it.
But he's from that, being from the East Coast, like New York and stuff. It's like if you from New York, it ain't hard for me to say you doing stuff in Philly and Baltimore. It's kind of like,
I mean,
you being from Chicago,
kind of like makes sense,
like,
though. You know,
he went to Gary, he on that BS. It's like, no, he right around the corner.
What Chris Rock did was he went to one of the toughest city to tell jokes in and did a special. That is hard. New York, Harlem, Maryland, all the cities with a real tough black area is hard to do because the rooms are hard. Then people live a hard life, so it's not easy to make them people laugh on just some hee hee ha ha shit. When you come and you usher in that comedy style and people receive it, you know it works.
Yeah, he had some stories to tell.
Chicago, Compton, not San Diego, but
maybe Detroit.
Golden State. What's Golden State?
Bay Area. Oakland.
Oakland is one of the toughest cities,
a tough city
to do comedy in because them people are so real. Detroit, them people is so fucking gutter. Like, it's not gutter like bad, but tough as shit.
Tough.
So it was just a remarkable thing. And then for him to break down where the past came to the present and how she hated on him and how he took it out on her. And it was so many different things that I'm not going to tell y'all. Y'all going to have to go watch that shit because it was powerful.
It's a nice little 45 minutes. I had something I wanted to say about it, but this age is getting to me. I just drew a whole blank. God damn it.
But shout out to Chris Rock. We're gonna jump in this chocolate gumbo, man.
No, we're not. People, be safe as you move in and about this country, in and out this world. People are dying every day, getting caught in the wrong situations. 4 people crossed the border from Texas to Mexico, got caught in the crossfire with either the cartels or human traffickers. Them people went out there for augmentation surgery. 2 dead, 2 in police custody in Mexico because they was kidnapped but recover. So people, please, whatever you do, be careful. Stay understanding that this world is, you can do whatever you want to do, but it's a certain way you got to do it. Fly to the Dominican Republic or wherever you're going to have these illegal surgeries or under the cover back door garage in Brazil surgery. Please fly. Do what you have to do. Call a travel agent. Do some research. Don't just drive across the border and get caught up in the crossfire. And God bless those people who died. You had no idea that was going to happen. God bless you. God bless their families because y'all hurt right now. And please, people, be careful. They just issued a warning for people, Americans traveling to Mexico. Do not do it on the back roads. Take the fucking flight. Go to the resort. Stay on the resort.
Yep. Stay with that. You absolutely
don't drink no funny ass liquor out there. Please be careful.
That story been over with. That was years ago. The
but people was
no, yeah, I know.
That's what I'm saying. So you gotta please, as you travel, please be careful. Go ahead.
No, but then it was another story. Did y'all hear about the guy? It was a guy on an airplane, United flight. I believe he was traveling from Los Angeles to Boston. Oh my God, this man went a little cuckoo after 5 hours. You know, it's about a little over 5 hours to get from the West Coast to the East Coast. This man was hollering out on the flight saying something about I'm gonna kill everybody on the plane and I'm gonna shoot some. They got guns in here and I'm gonna shoot everybody on the plane. Attacked attendant with a fork or a spoon or something like that. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Where did that voice kiss come from? Was that the original audio from the plane?
Yeah. Yeah, he literally was. I'm
your
trying
head
to
on
do
the
his
swivel,
voice.
please.
But it was a passenger that tackled him, and they kind of got him tamed for the last. It was like almost
It
time
must
for the
have been a
flight to be
Spirit
over.
flight. Please,
No,
don't.
it was
All the
United.
terrorists do not get on a Spirit flight. You will get your ass beat and your motherfucking.
They don't come on Spirit because they know all the, they know
Please
all the real
don't
ones gonna be
fly
out there.
on Spirit
Oh
coming out
my
of
God.
South Florida. You will get your
Listen.
ass beat and your turban took.
Keith, when I seen that video that Kendra played,
That was
that
scary,
guy
though.
acting
He
a
was
fool,
tripping. He was
I
tripping.
said, oh, he would have got his ass knocked out.
I'm just saying, you on a flight with your kids.
I'm not even talking to you. If you're doing that on a flight, it's like I don't care. It's people on there. It's like it's older
Bro.
people, it's kids.
And he tried to open the door and then
Bro.
jump
Open
off
the
the freaking
door.
plane. Yes.
Bro.
He would have got. I would have put him
Stab
to
the
sleep.
stewardess, stab the flight attendant with a
This
goddamn
was just a
broken
few
foot.
days
bro.
ago, y'all.
The moment he would have attacked this flight attendant, he would have went to sleep. I promise you. Everybody been cheering
Man,
on that flight.
you threaten
people-
lives
Yeah, you just gotta knock him out
on the airplane
Just
in
knock him out,
midair.
and then y'all could get it. We can land safely, drop
What
him
the
off.
fuck?
You know what I'm saying? It gotta be no fuss.
Please, people, be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Be
Some
careful.
people need to drive.
And mental and really on all
Mental
seriousness,
health. Oh my God.
that's very
all that
serious.
is.
We
Yes.
could really tell that something was going wrong with him. And man, I hope whatever help he needs, he definitely get it because it wasn't like
You
him
know, they
malice.
said ever
It just
since
was out.
COVID, the people spazzing out on planes and at the airport has tripled since COVID.
Mm.
Because they are starting to
people
travel
with
again
mental
more
illness
now. Yeah,
who
maybe so.
are
So-
suffering from mental illness. People who are suffering from mental illness are traveling more, and it's really taking a toll on their stress levels. So please, if you suffer from mental illness, drive.
I thought you were about to say something else. I ain't gonna say.
Get on the
this. I ain't
Greyhound.
gonna say what.
Get on the Greyhound. Okay, RJ, go ahead. I'm
Lord,
sorry.
Jesus.
No,
Cliffhanger time.
we gotta get on chocolate gumbo. It's chocolate gumbo time. We gotta talk about the subject that we left from last week, episode 16. This is 17. We talked about have you ever had a dream or a goal that you had to just go all the way, that you jumped off the edge, that you took a chance, and what gratification did you get from that? I don't know who wants to start first.
I mean, for me, they call me a serial entrepreneur.
Okay.
But I actually kind of had to get pushed a little bit into the hair. I've been doing hair since I was like 14. And I also held a corporate job for a long time doing accounts payable for Hyatt Corporation. And I literally was balancing both, but needed to just push myself. Kendra, just stop working. Like, you need to just continue to just only do hair. Like, you got all these clients, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like trying to prepare myself for when I was gonna just actually go ahead and just open a salon and do all of that stuff. But I guess, God was like, hey, if you ain't finna do it right now, I'm finna help you do it right now. So the company outsourced, and I was like fired basically low key with a settlement. And then I went on, I ain't turned back since. That was since 2009. Ever since 2005, I have been my own boss. So I was pushed a little bit, but I was, I'm always a planner kind of sort of when it comes to things like that. So I like to be prepared. So I was mentally trying to prepare myself for that. But it's 2023. I've been making it for how many years is that? 2023. Entrepreneur and still creating businesses. So
yeah.
I ain't turned back yet, y'all. So if I can do it, y'all can do it.
Well, coming from three people who have our makeup, it's not easy to see if we had a goal or had an idea or had a dream that we wanted to go pursue. Some of us know what we want, and some things just come to you. When some things are for you, they come to you full circle. I've always been very animated, very illustrative, but when I was a small kid, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, I was a class clown. I was the kid getting your kids in trouble. That's who I was. I was the one doing stupid shit, making fart noises, standing up, clapping while the teacher back was turned, while everybody's sitting down. I was the one getting whoopings for just being silly at school. Got kicked out of a high school for just being entertaining. It wasn't until I was 28 years old and I didn't know that comedy was a real thing until I met a comedian. He came to the house. pulled up. I was cracking on him. We was joning for a minute. I got the best of it, and the dude just all of a sudden stopped laughing. He's like, "You think you funny? You done? You think you funny? Well, if you think you really funny, take your ass down to Jokes and Notes. Put your name on that list for signing up for Wednesday open mic and see how funny you is." And 16 years later, I am blessed to be on so many stages. I can't remember what jokes I told. I mean, how many times I've been on stage, but thank God that God gave me the ability to make people feel something good and feel joy. And now your boy Big Keith is on the cusp of being one of the newest, funniest comedians ever to come out this country. So God bless y'all, Big Keith. I had a dream. I had a dream, but I didn't have a goal. And my dream was to make people laugh, and I didn't know how I was going to do it until God put it in front of me, and I've been going ever since. So thank y'all so much.
All right.
Shout out to Big Keith, man.
Be what you're supposed to be. That's the message. Be
Yes.
what you are supposed to be.
Man, that just keeping that thing going, man. Like you said, my stories was a little dramatic. I knew at 16 that I wanted to do music, so I started off had a gospel group. That's what's funny. So I was in the gospel group, started off at like 11, 12 singing gospel. Then when I got 18, I went and did R&B, had an R&B group. We were supposed to be, we recorded a whole bunch of records. We were supposed to get signed to Russell Simmons, and we met Jay-Z, and we just was doing a lot of stuff. We was doing records with Tank, and we was just moving,
Nice.
like we was doing a lot of stuff. And then that kind of got to a halt.
Okay.
One of my guys, he went out and did P. Diddy's Making His Band.
Oh, you talking about Will?
Well, I know Will, right? So we all did Making a Band with Will. So Will, my boy. All right. So Will's pretty much family with me. My wife and his wife are first cousins.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I went to high school with Will, so we've been boys for a long time. So we did Making a Band together, and we was there when Will made it from Chicago and stuff like that went on. But my boy did another thing called Making His Band. So it's pretty much when P. Diddy had a band and he was putting like background singers and a band around him.
Right.
That's what they did. So my boy Tommy was on that. And when he made that, we did a premiere and stuff like that. And it just seemed like our group.
Tommy.
Yeah.
My
guy. So it seemed like our group was me, Tommy, and Swift, which
So
we was the R&B group, next level.
I did not fucking know that.
And my brother. So we was the R&B group, next level. And it seemed like the whole thing was pretty much breaking up or whatever. So once that happened, he was kind of doing his own thing. And we wasn't really moving. And I was just dating Keita at the time. This is 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I was just real down. Me and Keita had probably been together a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my wife that I didn't want to sing anymore because I felt like all of my life I've been in groups. So it was like, okay, well, now you're supposed to be solo. So I'm like, and I told her, I was like, ain't nobody who want to see me. And she was looking like, are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my wife just always seeing in me what I didn't see in me.
Yeah.
So shout out to that, man. Make sure you find somebody that do that as well.
Yeah.
But just to get back to the story, I did not want to do music anymore. I didn't think that I can do it. And to get to the place that I'm now, that I do this for a living,
man.
You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't no hit records. It ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying? I pay all my bills. I do all of this. I've been doing this for about 10 years. So shout out, 10 years of just making moves, doing stuff, you know what I'm saying? Doing this independently. It's hard. I went in the direction that is not normal in my career path. Like you just said, Keith, you didn't know exactly how you're going to do it. But what you did, and Kendra, you said the same thing. We pretty much put one foot in front of the other, and God worked. You know what I'm saying? We can look back and be like, God, you just, because I didn't do this by myself.
Thank you, God.
You lined everything up. I did the job by stepping out on faith and believing in the vision that you gave me. But it was all the work of God, just lining everything up, me meeting the right people, doing the right thing. And I can honestly say that I do this full time. We just started in the podcast thing. And this is another thing that we are stepping out on faith, us three.
Full-time investment.
Full-time investment.
Here too. Like this, no, for real. Like I really feel like I have a calling to just talk and like be a advocate for people. And I have been saying that I wanted to do a podcast. I actually tried to start it with 2 other females and it just wasn't picking up. I promise you, I was at the right place at the right time. I wasn't even supposed to be where I was this day when I
Yes,
was
you was.
asked. I mean, and it was in God's plan. Like it's my lane. It was what I was supposed to do. It was in my heart to be done. And I was invited into something that I feel so passionate about. So you know what I'm saying? Like I'm grateful for that too.
It was
Yes.
perfect. And just looking at that situation, even with how we came together,
Yes.
it's so random. It wasn't like we knew each other for years. None of that. This is all ordained. It happened like that. And I just happened to look at Keith and I was like, hey, man, I want to do this, man. I wanted to do this. And some just told me, like, man, say that to him. Because I was trying to do a podcast. I had a whole nother podcast name. And they all seen it. You know what I'm saying? And I had some equipment. And it was like, hey, I got this, I got that. And we all talked like, all right, let's do it. And it just clicked. It came together. The people that were supposed to do it, I was supposed to do this, I would say 2 years before y'all came.
That's great.
Wow.
And it's kind of like everything was derailed or waited to this happen. You
Come
know what
on,
I'm saying? That
God.
we formed.
Y'all got to make me shout.
And let me tell y'all something out here. Chocolate Gumbo was out here. I know how it feels. I know how it feels to be in your zone. Your budget is good. You working. You know how to do this. You taking your trips, and you don't want to switch shit up. The world is crazy and volatile right now, and your investments and your 401k and your kids' college fund and this going on, your parents and that going on. When it's time to move, God will show you where to move. So don't feel like you're trapped. You're being steady. Being steady is not trapped. If you're unhappy, change the little things you're doing, even if you can't change the big shit. You are not trapped in miserability. You're not trapped in your routine. Anything you want to set your mind to, speak it. Write it down, read it out loud over and over again until you start seeing things push and pull into place to where you can do that. So if you want to stay where you at, be better where you at. But if you want to move and you feel your heart pulling and you know you can't do it right now because this is too solid, and God is going to show you when. God is going to make a time for you and your gifts and your abilities and your wants and desires to line up, and you're going to be able to fly straight.
I definitely got anything else to say, Kendra, about that?
No, I mean just manifestation and just believe and don't be afraid to step out and do what it is that you want to do. We only have one life to live, y'all. So don't keep that idea or that thought in your head and leave it there. Like step out and start doing some things. Like you and see what happens. Like if it's the right lane that you're supposed to be in, God gonna manifest it. And if it's actually what you want to do, you're gonna walk and strive in it. So just don't be afraid. Hey, we only got one chance at life. Do what it is that you want to do. Make it happen.
Speak it, say it, smell it, taste it, and be it.
Yes.
I'm gonna say this last point about this. You don't understand who you are until you in a place of vulnerability. Till you broken down. And sometimes it takes you to be vulnerable to step out on faith, to do something that you are totally afraid of, or you don't think, you don't know. And that's how you don't understand what kind of person you are or who you are until you do that. And it's at those moments when you start understanding who you are and what you're made of. You know what I'm saying? So you got to step out on faith. And it's so much sweeter, man. It's so much better, man, when you know that you made this jump and this leap, and you can look back and be like, damn.
Because it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be like people who stop working 40, 60, 70 hours a week for a boss and go into the business for yourself and realize you're working 100 hours a week for yourself now.
Every day you're working, every minute.
And you're going to make the mistakes and have the pitfalls and go through the downs. But guess what come after the downs? That hard work, that consistency, that effort, that persistency is going to lead you back up that mountain, and you'll see it. And if it don't work, find out why it's not working. Go back into the workforce for a little while. Revamp that shit and do it again. Do it as many times as it takes to make it. Don't just give up and don't think that stopping is giving up as well. You're learning every day. You learn more from when shit is messed up than when it's good anyway.
Yeah.
Mistakes force you make the right adjustments.
Yes.
So mistakes are a great thing. You know, to mess up and feel like, oh man, I failed, or this didn't work out the way I think, then you just make the adjustment. And it helps you do that. So it's not losses, it's lessons. You know, so that's the thing that we're talking about. So for those that's thinking about jumping out on faith and doing it, do it. Don't ask your cousin, if you a plumber and you want to talk to your cousin that's an electrician, he don't know.
Mm-hmm.
If it's your mama, if your daddy, I don't care if it's your daddy. If they did exactly what you did, they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then even if you talk to people that's doing what you're trying to do, some of them they want you to do it.
Right.
But you ask and you find your mentor, find you somebody you can pattern yourself behind, read you some fucking books on the laws of attraction, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, find those books and those resources so you know who's giving you good advice and you know who's giving you bad advice. You know who know and you know who don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, indeed. All right, RJ, I think it's time.
It is time. But we got one more thing.
Hang it off the cliff.
Gotta hang it off the cliff. Now, this is the thing. Now, the cliffhanger, and this we gotta talk about this next week because we really don't have no damn time. We actually went over. Damn.
Passion is passion.
Yeah.
Passion is passion. We try to bottle it all up, but sometimes it doesn't work like that. So the question that I want to ask is, men, and this is for women. You can ask. Men feel alone. A lot of men that we talk to, we feel alone. We feel that we don't get the same support that our kids, of course, or especially we could compare it to our childhood, because when you become a man, it ain't the same when you're mama's little boy. You know what I'm saying? So life is a little different. We feel like we're alone and we don't have the same support as kids, women, and pets do. So I know women. I know a lot of my women strongly disagree with us, but me and Keith is talking and we've kind of feel on the same page, and I think we might be missing each other with our perspective of that comment. But what you
I don't know.
Wait for next week. Nope.
I just gotta say this real quick. Did you just compare yourself to a pet? Like you think pets recently? We'll talk about this.
We're gonna
next
talk
week,
about it
okay?
next week. So please DM us. We need all the comments. We need all the smoke. Us men really feel like that. Guys, come on, say your comments, tell us yourself, chime in. We chime in us, follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Spotify,
Facebook, Instagram. We everywhere, y'all. Check us
everywhere.
out.
Big Keith, BIGK.
And share, okay? Tell people about us. Come on now, tap in. Chocolate Gumbo, the podcast.
Chocolate Gumbo, the podcast. You can follow us and you can follow with me, Kendra, and Keith for everything else we do.
Yeah.
Kendra got some mobile bartending, real estate, and hair and everything else she does. And that's just a little bit of what she does. We're not even gonna put a limit on her.
And I'm a baby daddy positivity trainer, and I'm also looking for a sugar mama. Hey, baby,
sugar mama's
take your teeth out and wear me out. You take them teeth out. You hear me?
Okay, y'all. Until next time. What we out of here, right? We out of here.
We definitely got to get out of here. So it's been real. It's been fun. And we got to just do it the right way.
Also, follow and support RJ Mitchell. The man's got music out on all the social media, all the mediums where music are. So amazing artist, amazing real estate agent, bartender, and hairdresser, and the number one comedian in the country. I'm
and everything else. So man, it's been a pleasure. It's been real. Until next time, we got to go out with a bang, man.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Chocolate Gumbo.
We dropping on Sundays, right?
Episode 17.
Let's go.
Love you guys.
Reels, clips, reels coming real soon. Yeah. You can share them with your people.
Yeah.
Share them with your loved ones. Tag, comment, share, subscribe.
Subscribe so we can go live, y'all. Hey.
Chicago to around the world. Chocolate Gumbo, baby.